Speaking of humor, right? Well, we stick it with comedy for a little bit longer now. Now we're gonna talk about Palm Springs, right?
Right.
So I will do the review for this, right? And then we'll just run through what we thought about it.
Yes.
I saw like okay, so my history with the show is that I just saw okay, this articles about first trailer for Hulu's new movie Palm Springs, right? And what caught me right off the bat is the star of the show, Andy Samberg, right?
Right.
Saturday Night Live, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, you know who he is, right? Lonely Island, you know who he is, right? And I didn't want to know much about it going in, but what I got the sense of, okay, this is like a summer movie, right? This is going to be the summer movie that we've been waiting for, during this whole quarantine summer, if you want to call it that. But I knew right off the bat that there was something different about it, something unique about it. But I just didn't know what it is. I was kind of trying
Yeah.
not to
I
not to be spoiled, but I was picking up a little something. And I was like,
I
I have
went
a
to completely
feeling I
blind.
know what's gonna happen, but
Yeah, no,
that
I
actually what the
think
show.
yeah, I went to completely blind.
Okay, all right. Wow. So you didn't see anything. Okay, cool.
I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what it was about. I just hear everybody say it's one of the best. So yeah, so and so. It's like, hey, wait about. Let me go in
Yeah.
and let me. Yeah, cool.
Right.
Yeah,
And I'll actually debate whether it is one of the best of the year later on, right? So what is about it centers on the character of Niles, right? Played by Andy. He wakes up on November 9th. It is basically is the day of his girlfriend's friend's wedding day, right?
right.
And she's there pretty much to read a little some just to represent for a friend after the wedding ceremony, right? Um, and then later on, like on the actual wedding, well, it actually goes on to the night, right? So at after the wedding and all that kind of stuff, Niles runs into well, the sister of the bride, right? Her name is Sarah. She's played by Kristen Milotti. I know I
Yeah,
saw her in something. I just can't
she was
remember
in
what
Black
it
Mirror.
is.
Yeah, she was in
From?
Black Mirror. The Callister episode, USS Callister.
Oh, all right. Okay. I know. Recognize her face from somewhere. Right.
Yeah,
And essentially one thing leads to another. They hook up, and just right off the bat they just kind of establish Niles as just being kind of a narcissist. It's just like, it doesn't matter, if the will ends or whatnot, you know what I mean? It's just do whatever you want, right? And then kind of one thing we see next, I don't want to spoil too much, but they end up in well, it's actually at this desert area, so I'm assuming it's there too, well, Palm Springs being, I assume, a hotel, right? Or whatever it is, right?
right.
So the desert around it basically is where they kind of hook up, right? They making out and whatnot. And suddenly one thing leads to the next. Somebody ends up trying to kill basically Niles, right? And that leads to him running into this mysterious cave. And he tells Sarah, don't go in, right? There's a light that's coming, that's emanated from inside. And when he goes inside, he gets sucked in, right? She now being curious, she goes in and she gets sucked into. And
Yep.
in a nutshell, what happens is that they pretty much end up in a time loop, right? So a
Yeah.
la, Groundhog Day, right? They wake up and they see
Right.
November 9th, and it's just about the two. Well, he is already in the loop for,
For
for
a
how
very long
much
time.
days, right? And she's in it for the first time. So she's not realizing, oh, well, either whenever I go to sleep or I die, I wake back up in November 9th,
Yeah,
right? So,
it's pretty much the same rules as Groundhog Day, more or less.
yeah.
You can't kill yourself. You can't go to sleep. The second you blink, that's it. You once you say you can try to stay up as long as you can, but it don't work. Once you go to sleep, that's it, right? You reset.
Yeah.
Um,
And just to round things up, so essentially, as you would expect, they do kind of form a little friendship, a little bond, a little relationship. But at the same time, Niles' character really does undergo a really serious change because on the one hand he was just like, just fuck everything, do whatever you want. But at the same time, it's like, now I kind of want to live with purpose. I don't want to be in this time loop anymore because I've actually found someone that I genuinely love or I can relate to. She, on the other hand, is like, all right, I get that, but at the same time, we really need to do something. We really need to get out of this time loop. And yeah, pretty much that's what Palm Springs is about. So,
yeah,
Ricardo, what were your thoughts on Palm Springs? Going in
yeah.
completely
That's
blind.
a nice, a nice little charming time loop. episode. Time loop is not a new concept in science fiction, but
No.
it was done quite well. I was first introduced to it in the episode Cause and Effect in Star Trek The Next Generation. Then later on Groundhog Day.
Uh-huh.
Then have all kind of great sci-fi episodes, Outer Limits, episodes of cartoons or whatever it is did it. Stargate SG-1 probably have one of the best ones, Window of Opportunity. So yeah, you can't go wrong with a good. Oh well, another show that we review that came out on Netflix, that was Russian Doll.
Yes, which I have
Yeah.
still haven't watched. I know.
Yeah.
I suck. I should watch that. Yeah.
Right, that is a next kind of little time loopy something, and they make it work for this because the big point of it is the the existentialist nature of the scenario, right?
Yes.
You're stuck in this. You're gonna do you want to leave? You get into all these questions about it, and they don't do anything particularly special with it, other than they change the whole Groundhog Day aspect of the scenario. Like the solution in Groundhog Day is not the same solution here, right? It's a more pragmatic, scientific solution, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. But I thought how they pulled that off too, and it was pretty smart. I don't want to spoil it. It was pretty clever how that problem was solved actually.
Right.
Yeah.
It have a couple small plot holes here and there, like with the goat. I felt I couldn't really follow how why the goat was a test somehow. Did she know the goat not know her? I didn't get that.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things where, like typical sci-fi stuff, we have to have a test subject, so there'd be some random animal, right? But, in the process, it's like you don't know if the experiment worked, right? It's like,
that's the
way is like, why do it in the first place? But I understand, but at the same time, I guess it was for her to be like, okay, if it does not show up here, well, maybe, okay. So maybe, without spoiling, maybe she assumed that it would have showed back up at a point in time afterwards, but because it didn't, it's like, okay, well, now I kind of could just leave it as it is or try it for myself. I that's why.
No, but that's the thing. She mentioned the goat went missing. Like the goat didn't come back according to her. Right. I don't know, but then and she says something like I get the feeling they realized it was a plot hole and they just kind of hand wave it at the end.
Just sweep it under the rug.
Right. Yeah, the lampshade it at the end. But whatever, it's fine. They make they did this thing that I felt also Andy should have done what she did. Like I thought, and yet he would have never solved it. Like he never even tried to be like actually learn what was going on or like to educate himself or anything like that. But I suppose I just different personalities. Similar to her character in Black Mirror, right? She just kind of smart her way out of the scenario now. Mm-hmm. And yeah, they make it work in that way. But then the core of it holds up. Right, and then another thing too, it had dinosaurs for some reason, and that wasn't clear like what the dinosaurs was about. I couldn't follow that.
Well, to be clear, they were okay. Slight spoiler: they were high off shrooms, so it was just like a moment that they saw. Oh, like the idea is that they both see the same thing together. So we're connected,
The way they frame it as if the dinosaurs were there, because I thought, the dinosaurs experiencing the time loop too.
Oh no! It's one of those kind of indie moments, like those, like when you want to stand out as a indie film or something special as far as just narrative films go, you always have to have that one little unique moment, that one little special moment that stands out. Okay. So it's kind of like one of those moments how I pick it up there. That's too spectacular, but it's like, okay, that's different. All right.
The thing is the dinosaurs show up at the end too, so it's like, what? Okay. Whatever.
Yeah, I just feel it was just a vision or whatever. I could be wrong. Maybe I just need to watch it over. But
yeah. I can follow that. But whatever. Other than these little small issues, I felt it was the core of it works, right? The core of the two of them, their relationship. They spend how much time with thing. They seem to have spent an insane amount of time inside this loop. Like it's implied that it's like over a million years or something like that.
Yeah, which logically don't make sense because if it is like in with Annie's character, if you were in this thing for so long, wouldn't you be the one trying to figure out how to get out of the loop?
I'm not trying to say
as opposed to Kristen's character who's just there for like about months,
That's the thing. I felt they could have addressed that a little better. Like it says something about his character because they never get into his like what he about or his backstory. Now it does imply that he really hated life outside so much that he did like this was not a problem for him now. Which I felt they could have explored, but whatever. And again, it's too much time. Like in the case of like say Groundhog Day, the original script was 10,000 years in Groundhog Day, but
Right.
the way how Groundhog Day plays out, it was implied to be about 30 years or so, which is
Mm.
reasonable, right? In my opinion, I find you can do a 10 years with this. Like, and he was there for about 10 years, whatever. It's fine.
Right.
Um, but yeah, they had him like they were there for very, very long. At least he was. And they play it out pretty good. Um, they make the story work for what it is. I can't be mad at any of it in that sense. And they resolve it. And then the ending I really like. That post credit scene was very, very good. Um,
Yeah, I really dug that post credit scene
yeah,
as well.
with with
Yeah.
with boy, with J. Jonah Jameson himself, right?
Yes, yes, J.K. Simmons is in it as well. A character, well, first of all, actor I didn't expect in the show, and the character that he plays, and what they do with the character, I didn't expect at all. But how they
Yeah,
make it work in terms of the main character, yeah, I thought was excellent in my opinion. It
yeah,
adds an extra layer to the whole existential nature of the story.
right. And I felt, as I say, I thought they would have done something more interesting with it. It's not too deep. But if you're not familiar with the previously mentioned episodes of sci-fi and movies that has handled time loop and handled time loop in its own way differently, you would probably really love this. And I can imagine for a relatively new audience who not familiar with the concept of time loop and hasn't been used in whatever shows, it's new to them, right? And they would have loved this. Like I can imagine a bunch of people loving it, especially as a romantic comedy, right? Groundhog Day had romantic comedy elements in it as well, right? Because that was the story.
Yeah,
Same thing. It's I don't think it's as good as Groundhog Day, but it's still pretty good, right?
yeah,
I still enjoy it a lot. It's 7 out of 10. I enjoy this for what it is. Um, it's good chemistry. Andy and I forget the girl name.
Kristen, yeah.
Right. The two of them there, I thought they had great chemistry. The big reveal with Superman, Tyler Hecklin, I thought that
Yes,
was good.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Tyler
And
Hoechlin is in
that,
this as well too.
yeah, the strength of the film is the emotional arcs of all the characters, and that's why it works. And I felt if they did knit up and stitch up the plot a little better, it would have been great for me. But they didn't do that, and nerds like me have to complain about shit like that, right? So
Yeah. Well,
that's that
just leave it for what it is, man. It's
right,
not a
right,
thinking man's movie.
exactly, right. It's more the emotional arcs of the characters, and that's why it works.
Right.
So yeah, for me, I give it a 7 out of 10.
All right. Well, you see how you mentioned Groundhog Day. Well, I mean that's like the simple. That's like the simplest show to reference this movie to, right?
Right.
So another show I will bring up here. This is me being all film nerdy. Is Harold and Maude, classic
Okay.
film from 1971.
Right.
And essentially, this is why I'm referencing this movie here is because of the dark gallows humor that movie has. So essentially, it's about
Right.
this boy, well, this teenager actually, and it starts off with him pretty much wanting to kill himself. He has no reason to live, and it's just him just trying to find ways to off himself, and it's in this kind of ridiculous ways. Cause it's a comedy, right? But at the same time, it's kind of funny the way how he's doing it. This kind of dry way, right? But in the process, he meets this elderly woman. So he's Harold and she's Maud, right? And she is so full of life, even though she's like in her 70s or whatever like that. And he kind of falls for her. And essentially, it's just their
Right.
relationship together and him kind of learning the meaning of life through this woman who is just so full of life, even though she's old, right? And why I referencing that movie here is because of one, the dark humor, and then two, the existential nature of it. Where it's like, okay, so in this case with Palm Springs, it's not just that the time loop. It's like, oh, we could actually kill ourselves in all these ways. We could try these things and die and not really care about what happens. But then after a while, it's just like, yo, we can't be doing this for the rest of our lives now. You know what I mean?
Right.
But at the same time now, you have the love thing going on. You have the relationship going on between the two leads, right? So yeah, that's where I got the Groundhog Day vibe from it too. So long story short, it has the dark existential humor, I should say,
Yeah.
of something like a Harold and Maude, but it's
And
very
her
much
character,
Groundhog Day.
yeah, and her character is the anti, with his manic pixie dream girl kind of character. She's not meant to be, even though his first girlfriend is like that, right?
Yeah, yeah,
She's the
yeah,
deep one. She's actually the smart one that'll solve the problems. That kind of stuff now. Though
yeah, yeah,
accepting she's more positive about the world than he is. She's the one who like not cynical about the world and she don't accept things as it is. She was really good. She's a great choice in terms of casting her. Again, if you watch USS Callister, if you remember that, it's kind of the same thing, right?
right, yeah, yeah. And just to touch on Kristen, though, I thought that she delivered an excellent performance in this. So, like
Yeah.
every scene that she was in, she didn't really steal, but she just shone by. I dug everything about the character, and I mean, she's not like, oh, I love everything and everything is all right. It's just like, look, I know things are shitty, but at the same time, I could kind of make the most out of my situation, and that kind of thing. Like, there's a really powerful moment where she kind of offers a little word of advice to her. Well, it actually happens twice. The word of advice to her sister,
Right.
as she's about to get married, and I thought like that was like a really great moment. Simple but great now. Andy
Yeah.
Samberg, I thought he was great too. I like the fact that he's not playing the typical goofy type character. He's just like, you know what? I just roll around. I'll just go to this wedding wearing like these Hawaiian clothes on and just not give a
Right.
shit. Like I like that about him. He'll drink, he'll curse, he'll do whatever. But you really see how his character changes over time, where he learns to appreciate life. He laughs a lot. He does a lot of things. You know what I mean? Just off of his relationship um, with Sarah. And as I said, I really dug the chemistry between the two of them, between Andy
Yeah.
and Christy. You really feel it off the bat, right? I really dug that. And just these scenarios that they put themselves into a dog, and I like that the show didn't spend too much time just showing, oh, well, we could die and wake back up tomorrow. I love how they
Right.
just play on, oh, well, I could just die in the middle of this moment here and then wake back up. There's a great kind of moment, one of those moments they kind of blink and you miss it, where Sarah dies while she's in the same car with Niles, right? And then Sarah wakes up the next morning, and then they just cut back to Niles the day before, smiling like, "Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow." That kind of vibe,
Right.
right? Um, and just like Harold and Maude, there's
Another
these moments where they kind of push each other to do these over the top, insane things, but it kind of has consequences. Now. So I dug that as well. Yeah, go on.
No, yeah, another thing. Well, again, more nerd questions, right? Well, the thing is, this show, what do you call it? Russian Doll explained this a little better than this did. One thing I had a problem with was, wait, you could loop back, but it is more your loop than their loop. So it's just about whether or not you're conscious of your loops. So somebody could run through several loops before you even run through one loop, right?
Yeah,
Stuff like that. This kind of be weird and kind of bother me. Like, so, but you'll still start at the exact same time or whenever it is you wake up, which is
yeah.
kind of
Well, I think in general, right? The person who wrote this, right, or directed it, probably didn't want the film to be too steeped in sci-fi or in science fact.
yeah,
So
you're
it's
supposed to think
like
of
you're not gonna spend a bunch of time like, oh well, trying to figure out, the loop itself there. And I
right.
appreciate that. But I know, like, especially for people who are familiar with this concept, you will kind of stop and be like, well, wait, now, about how this happened, why this happened, that kind of thing.
Yeah, they could
It
keep
did
it.
take me out of the show though. I imagine like if I watched that again, I'd be like, yeah, but still, if they just write this a little bit smarter, it would have
Yeah,
make a much more sense. You know?
yeah. That's the problem. The problem is that it don't seem to be one source of the loop. It's just other sources of the loop now. So you start. That's the problem is that you're talking about weird systems of causality. So it kind of weird in that way, Like Star Trek Discovery did a really good job with their time loop episode, and they
Mhm.
explained everything particularly well now. Whilst this one didn't really seem to care about it. It was just magic. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like, yeah.
And
So,
also, not surprising, they don't really quite explain what caused it. I kind of knew that
right.
going in. I know that's the nature of shows like this, and it didn't really bother me that much though. Other than that, though, I thought that the performances were great. Even right out to the side characters like J.K. Simmons. I really don't want to spoil what this character is or what he does, but the moments with him I thought were great, especially his back and forth with Andy's character. Sorry. Didn't expect to see Superman in this, but he make his character work. But he's pretty much he's the groom actually in all of this, right? So there's a particular twist, if you want to say, involved with him that I thought totally worked and kind of made sense with what's going on. But overall,
Right.
yeah, what I really got was just a genuinely sweet, but albeit in a dark way, romantic comedy, right? And I kind of, that every day you see romantic comedies with dark humor. So right off the bat, that just got me. Yeah, I really dug the dark humor in it. I really dug the genuine human moments in this. I like that it wasn't trying to be all edge lord about life and how you look at it. You know what I mean? It's just two characters with different perspectives that kind of realize that there's more there's more to life, right? So I dug that. There's really great teams that I personally love, right? And yeah, not much more I could say. I really dug it. As far as best of the year, I will see this showing up on many people's list. This for me is honorable mention for sure. And
Right.
I really hope that more people do see it. But I would say just right off the bat, you have to. If you just don't like dark humor, right? If you just don't get it, or you just find it a little too, you know, that's just not good natured at all, then yeah, this is not gonna be for you. But if you could dig it, but just know that there is meaning behind all of this, then yeah, you will appreciate everything the show has to offer. So for me, I'll give this a strong 3.5 out of 5, man. I think this is absolutely worth
Right.
checking out, though. I think that this is Andy Samberg gave a strong performance here, but really for me, Kristen Milotti, she stole the show for me. I thought that she was the best character in this whole show. And yeah, I really, really would like to see Andy do more of these comedy drama roles, you know what I mean? Similar to like a Pete Davidson did with gosh, King of Staten Island. I would love to see
Right.
him do stuff like that, you know what I mean? So yeah, this was a solid outing, man. So I really want to see this again. Hopefully I won't be nitpicking all the time loop logic holes or whatnot, but yeah, I
Right.
mean it is what it is, man. So yeah, definitely check out Palm Springs.